Hello, hello, hello.
हेलो 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 ठीक है बिल्कुल हेलो हेलो
Hello, 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 check, check, hello, mic testing, hello, 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 hello. Yes, ठीक है सर, आवाज आ रही है।
sorry sorry for the inconvenience once again. May I get a response from Professor Malar Kodi madam whether I'm audible? Can you
Yes, sir.
listen to?
You're audible now. You're audible. Good
Okay,
morning.
okay,
Good
okay,
afternoon,
okay.
sir.
Thank you,
Good
madam. Thank you.
afternoon. Yes, sir.
So, as informed earlier, that the head of the department, Professor Anil Kumarji, is attending one important urgent meeting with the Honorable Vice Chancellor. So he has authorized me to start the open Ph.D. Viva of Saba Imam. So at the Department of Geology, I'm very happy that the esteemed faculty members from different departments, science faculty of Patna University. They are also present in this lecture hall of the Geology Department. On behalf of the Department of Geology, on behalf of the faculty members, research scholars and students, I welcome once again Professor Malarkudi, Department of Geology at Bangalore University. Here in the lecture hall, we have the head of the Department of Physics, Professor Sunita Singh Madam. We have head of the Department of Zoology, Professor Parimal Kumar Khanji, the head of the Department of Statistics, Professor Dr. Amit Kumarji. We have the head Department of Chemistry, Professor Shailendra Kumarji, the head Department of Biochemistry, Professor Rajneesh Kumarji, and the senior professors of the department, Professor Rambali Singhji, the undergraduate head, Dr. Seema Jamwar, from the Statistics Department, Dr. Satyendra Yadavji, the staff at the Dean Office of the Faculty of Science, esteemed faculty members of the Department of Geology, Patna University, and also the undergraduate department of Patna Science College, the head of the zoology, Professor Mehboob Hassanji, the head of the zoology of Patna Science College, is also present. So we have a large galaxy of esteemed, distinguished faculty members and research scholars working under the supervision of the faculty members. They are also here present in the lecture hall. Dear faculty members, I must inform you the topic on which Saba Imam has submitted her Ph.D. It has been mentioned on the blackboard also, but just to let you know that the topic of her research is a study of the fluvial sediments in parts of Kosi Basin, Bihar, with special reference to investigations for rare earth elements. So now, with your permission, Professor Malarkodi Madam, may I now request Sabat for her presentation and to defend her thesis.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Saba, you are now directed to present your thesis and defend the questions after the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Saba Imam, research scholar in the Department of Geology, Patna University, under the supervision of Professor Atul Aditya Pandey. And the research topic for my Ph.D. is a study of fluvial sediments in parts of Kosi Basin, Bihar, with a special reference to investigation for rare earth elements. Rivers are the most dynamic agent that carries water and sediment to the ocean, draining landmass. So the research on the fluvial sediment has a great understanding in the processes and genesis of the sedimentary deposits. The Kosi River, originating in the Himalaya, carries huge amount of sediment, is one of the major left bank tributary of Ganga River system and known for frequent change of courses. The lower Kosi Basin is ideal for study due to its dynamic behavior and heavy sediment load. These research investigate Kosi River fluvial sediments, focusing on the texture analysis, heavy mineral analysis, occurrence and distribution of rare earth elements. This study area, the Kosi River, is a transboundary river originating in the Himalaya at an altitude of 7,000 meters above mean sea level, and it is bounded in the north by the Himalaya, in the center by the Gangetic alluvium, and in the south by the Archean rock. It is also known as the sorrow of Bihar due to frequent change in the courses. The river carries huge amount of sediments and from the young Himalayas, forming extensive Kosi megafan. This study area covers part of Saharsa Supaul district of Bihar. The figure showing the location map of the study area and the point where the samples were collected. And this table shows the coordinates of the sampling location, that is its latitude and longitude. The research methodology include two aspects, that is field work, where the samples are collected from the parts covering the Kosi Basin, and the laboratory method, that is textual analysis and model analysis, that were conducted in the Department of Geology, Patna University, and mineral phase identification and chemistry of the sediments were performed at the Inter-University Accelerator Center, New Delhi. Here the figure showing the collection of the sediment samples from the parts of the Kosi River basin and the flow chart showing methodology. Now the texture analysis. Grain size analysis is the fundamental for understanding the depositional environment and the sediment history. The frequency curves of the sediment samples shows the grain size variation, and all the samples falls under the unimodal distribution. And the cumulative curves that is derived from the frequency polygon shows the grain size trend. Now the table showing the percentile and CM value calculated from the grain size data. And this table shows the graphic measure of grain size analysis from the Kosi River basin sediments. And here the grain size distribution, the textural parameter of the sediments including mean, median, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis were analyzed. And in the mean, it shows that most of the sediment samples falls in medium to fine sand, and the standard deviation shows that the sediment samples are moderately sorted, and the skewness indicate that all the sediment samples, most of the sediment samples are positively skewed, indicating fluvial dominance, and the kurtosis indicate meso to leptokurtic in nature. Here the bivariate plot and its interpretation, that is the graph, the mean versus standard deviation shows that the medium sands are mostly moderately sorted, and the graph between mean versus skewness shows that the moderately medium sands shows positive skewness, and mean versus kurtosis indicates that the samples are mostly leptokurtic in nature. Standard deviation versus skewness graph shows that the moderately sorted sediments are mostly positively skewed. Heavy minerals. Heavy minerals are those minerals having a specific gravity more than 2.85 heavier than the liquid bromoform. And in the analysis, it shows that of the coastal sediments, that the opaque mineral dominant. And among the non-opaque mineral, garnet is the most abundant, followed by biotite, zircon, rutile, tourmaline. The table showing the heavy mineral percentage in the sediment samples of the Kosi basin and its ZTR, zircon, tourmaline, rutile index. Here the figure shows the graph of the heavy minerals in the sample. This figure shows the photomicrograph of heavy mineral, that is garnet, biotite, rutile, apatite, tourmaline, sillimanite, zircon, and opaque. The mineral phase identification is obtained from the X-ray diffraction that were processed using expert software. And the abundant dominant minerals include quartz, alpha quartz, muscovite, albite, orthoclase, and the accessory minerals include actinolite, serpentine, and orthite. The X-ray diffraction pattern of the sediments in the Kosi River basin. These are the X-ray diffraction patterns of the sediment sample. The geochemistry of the sediment provide insight into the chemical environment in which they were deposited. Some of the key factors that are influenced by the geochemistry of the sediments include composition of source rock, degree of physical and chemical weathering, process of transportation, deposition, and the mobility of elements. The geochemistry of major constituent provides insight into the original mineralogy of the rock and the chemical characteristics of the source rock. The geochemical data in the table showing the geochemical data and of the major elements and their ratios. The geochemistry of major constituents shows variation from, that is, SiO2 and abundant, followed by Al2O3 and list and manganese oxide. The geochemical relationship, SiO2 and Na2O shows inverse relationship with Al2O3. That is, if the percentage concentration of Al2O3 increases, There's decrease in SiO2 and Na2O. However, Fe2O3, K2O, MgO, TiO2 show positive correlation with Al2O3 and CaO show no correlation with Al2O3. Now the geochemistry of rare earth element. Rare earth element includes elements from lanthanum to lutetium, and their distribution is influenced by mineral composition of source rock, physical and chemicals like weathering, transportation, deposition. The rare element concentration in the Kosi River sediments. The total concentration range from 13.34% parts per million to 86.96 parts per million, with the average of 35.12 parts per million. And the distribution pattern show that the light rare earth elements are significantly more enriched compared with the heavy rare earth elements. The mean RED concentration order in the sediments that cerium is most abundant, followed by lanthanum, and the least is lutetium. These rare earth elements are compared with the upper continental crust and chondrite and shows value less than UCC and chondrite. The light rare earth element concentration are closer to upper continental crustal values than HREDs. RED distribution follows the Otto-Harkins rule. That is, the even number REDs are more abundant compared with the odd number one. Here the table showing RED concentration of the fluvial sediments of the Kosi Basin, the sum of REDs, LREDs, HREDs, ratio of LRED and HRED, and fractionation ratio in the fluvial sediments of the Kosi River Basin. Normalization and anomalies. RED concentration normalized against UCC and chondrite reference for eliminating Otto-Harkins rules, identifying RED fractionation, evaluating enrichment and depletion trend. That shows that the European shows negative anomaly and the sodium shows positive anomaly. The RED ratio normalized to upper continental crust and chondrite values. Here, this shows that when RED is evaluated against chondrite, it shows that chondrite and upper continental crust, it shows that enrichment of LRED is compared with HRED. Conclusion: this study shows the grain size distribution, mineralogical composition, and geochemistry of the sediments from the Kosi River Basin. The textural analysis findings indicate that most of the sediments are medium sand, moderately well sorted, positively skewed, and meso-leptokurtic in nature. Heavy minerals shows the dominance of, among the non-opaque mineral, dominance of garnet, biotite, zircon, rutile. That finding highlight the Himalayan origin. And XRD analysis indicate that main dominant minerals are alpha quartz, muscovite, albite, indicating the presence linked with high-grade metamorphic rock of Himalaya. Geochemical analysis through XRF. High SiO2 content indicate predominance of quartz and felsic mineral. Al2O3 levels suggest aluminous silicates like feldspar and clay. And the geochemistry of rare earth element indicates that enrichment of LRED over HRED consistent with upper continental crustal pattern. Negative European anomaly indicates the dominance of felsic source rock. The Kosi River presents a complex, dynamic sedimentary environment heavily influenced by Himalayan geology and geomorphology. This study enhances and comprehension of fluvial dynamic sediment transport and source rock contribution in Himalayan fluid river system. Thank you.
Madam, Saba has finished her presentation.
Yeah.
Now requesting you to have some clarifications or questions from your side.
So, Saba, I appreciate you for your presentations, and you presented your findings with the clarity and confidence. And just 20 few questions. And okay, so how do the depositional pattern of the Koshi River influence the sediment composition and mineral concentration?
Ma'am, please repeat your question.
Yeah. How do the depositional pattern of the Kosi River influence the sediment composition and mineral concentration.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if there is high flow, then the core sediment deposited. And since these sediments are formed by the erosion of Himalayas, there is variation in the sediments, like the source rock of the Himalayas.
Okay, so the potential source rock, what are the potential source rock that contributes the RE enrichment in the Koshi River
Ma'am,
basin?
there are varieties of rock in the Himalayas, but for RED, we mostly granitic rock that are present in the Himalayas and other varieties of rock, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So can you tell me the geomorphological and sedimentological characteristics that influence the sediment in the Kosi basin?
Ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am.
Yeah. What are the key? Can you hear me now?
No, ma'am, you are not that much audible.
What are the geomorphological and sedimentological characteristics of the fluvial sediments in the Koshi basin? Okay, okay. So, okay, Saba, and I really appreciate you for presenting your findings with clarity and confident. So, all the very best, and I'm wishing you for the great success in your academic and professional journey. All the very best. I congratulate Imam and also the guide for producing a very important, valuable scientific findings through your research.
Sir,
Thank you. It is over to your supervisor, you know. If any other questions and other audience can,
Yes, ma'am.
if there is any questions, audience from audience side, and you can clarify there.
There is a question from the supervisor. Saba, you have to inform that the problem we have selected regarding the characteristics of the fluvial sediments, the objective was twofold. One was to understand the geochemical nature of the fluvial sediments of the Kosi Basin, and they in the country for so many the changes or the requirement at the national level. So whether your findings with respect to RE is of any economic significance, so that the processing and other things could be taken up.
No, sir. Actually, the value is slightly lower than the threshold oil value that is required for the economical aspect.
Okay.
So, madam, the finding is the percentage or the values of the concentration of RE is at present not of much economic significance, but in terms of geochemistry, that is giving information regarding the weathering processes, the dynamics occurring in the upper Himalayan terrain, and the accumulation of sediments and the fluvial system as such. The second question, which is very relevant regarding this work, earlier the Kosi Basin, it has been investigated mostly with respect to flood management. But now the sediment management is another aspect. So what are your understanding and findings with respect to the management of sediments in the Kosi Basin?
So there is actually critical because the river carries huge amount of sediment. However, some of the management can consider that embankment and the treatment of catchment areas and the sand mining activity should be increased in the areas. That is, these sands are used for the construction purpose.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now we have faculty members from our department as well as from other departments of the science faculty. So if anyone is willing to ask with respect to the presentation made by Saba, you are most welcome. There is one hand raised, Salimji.
I would just like to inquire regarding your europium negative anomaly and cesium positive anomaly. How you are going to correlate it with the data you have provided with other respect to SRF data or this energy conditions. So can you relate it with the energy conditions? What exactly is happening in your area based on these anomalies? Does this indicate anything, or is it just that we have done it and compared it to UCC and Thorndike?
I have correlated these data mostly among themselves and among these REVs with that evaluated with chondrite and upper continental, but they didn't correlated these data with the sediment flow means about energy condition. For energy condition, I mostly done texture analysis.
Can it be correlated?
No, that will be correlated in future, but in my research, I have not correlated. It can be correlated.
So the Madam faculty members, they have asked few questions. I don't know because the system is not working, so that
I can hear.
listen to whatever they are saying.
Okay.
So based on the presentation and based on the your questions and the question from the supervisor, she has replied. So now final words from the external examiner.
Okay. So, and the subject, that is the fluvial segment. Can you hear me, sir?
Now, after the presentation, to conclude, I'm requesting you for your final words.
Yes, sir. So the thesis on fluvial sediments and rare earth elements, it is both relevant and also it is scientifically it is valuable. And Imam, and you have presented your findings with clarity and confidence, and your response to this to the Viva, and it is reflecting your deep understanding of the subject. And I'm wishing you a success in your academic and professional journey. And also, I congratulate your guide and as well as the candidate. All the very best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot,
Thank
ma'am.
you. So you can conclude, sir.
Okay, ma'am, as per the guidelines issued by the Patna University, the report, I shall be sending you a scanned copy of the report. I shall be sending you maybe in an hour or so, and then taking a printout, you have to mark your signature, and then you'll have to return back to the mail on which we'll be sending you. And a separate hard copy you have sent to the university, and we shall process the attendance and report and other documents, and then we'll submit to the Patna University Controller of Examinations. So with your permission, shall we conclude? And from my side also, I congratulate Saba Imam for her presentation. I'm thankful to the esteemed heads of the Department of Faculty of Science, Patna University, the faculty members of the Department of Geology, and in large number, the research scholars are also present. I think this is a learning exercise for the research scholars. Many of the research scholars, they are also now in the process of submitting their thesis. So with the blessings of you all, I think they will also be presenting their thesis. And one good information from my side that Saba is undergoing a training at the GSI Institute at Hyderabad. And she will be joining, whether you have received which region you will be posted at? Okay, so in the first week of July, as she says, she'll be joining any of the regions to be given by the Geological Survey of India. So thank you, madam, once again. And,
congratulations once again, Dr. Saba Imam. Congratulations. Congratulations once again. And we congratulate you as Dr. Saba Imam. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.